Good morning and welcome to today's edition of Toolbox Tuesday. My name is Kieran Greening. I will be your host. I am a safety advisor out of the Saskatoon office. I deal with a few different regions around Saskatchewan. I deal with up north in the Prince Albert region, up to the far northern region, out west to Macklin, around the border there, and back out east to the Humboldt area. So if you are in any of those areas, contact the SCSA and ask for Kieran Greening. Other than that, we're going to get started. Today we're doing Toolbox Talk on near misses and the surrounding information. So I'm going to share my screen here. So I wanted to talk about near misses. It's important that we understand what a near miss is. So some of the goals here are to recognize near misses at work. We want to gain understanding of the importance of reporting these near misses. So we're going to start out with what is a near miss. A near miss is an occurrence that happens that could have caused damage or injury or illness, but didn't. So that's the key word, is it didn't. So that makes it what's called dangerous occurrence in the OHS regulations. So that's what a near miss is. So hypothetically, if we get injured at work, if we cut our finger, if we just about squish our hand but just rip some skin off and still has a first aid, those are all still incidents. A near miss means something could have happened, but it didn't. So examples of a near miss, there's lots of examples. The gentleman in the picture here just about stepped on that nail. And that's kind of the key thing, is he just about stepped on it. In the construction industry, there's a wide variance of near misses that can happen. If you're on a ladder and you almost fall off, or if you're walking down below and a tool just about falls on you. Those are all examples of a near miss. So reporting near misses. A near miss could be today be a near miss, but tomorrow it could be an accident. So I want to make sure we report all the near misses that we see. And that's really important. If we take a step back and look at why do we report near misses? Why do we report anything to be, for example? A near miss is an important thing to report if we want to prevent occurrence in the future. There's something called a leading and lagging indicator. So to get deeper into this, a leading indicator is something that you can use before it happens to predict more things that could happen if they're in the potential to be bad. And a near miss is a fantastic way of using a leading indicator. That way, if we have a ladder setup where a worker is on the top rung but doesn't know that they can't step on that step, we can determine that, okay, that one person, this is an isolated incident. But if it's a trend, if there's 6 or 7 guys doing the same thing, we can discern from there that in fact it's a trend and it's happening across the company. So we got to investigate. So now with this investigation, we want to look at the plausible outcomes. So why is this person doing this? Why are these people doing it? And how can we change this? So we want to look at different levels of controls that we could implement. A control that might be appropriate is a work practice control training. If we look at worker training, it's an important piece that workers are trained and trained well for the things that they're going to be doing. OHS outlines that workers have to be trained in all the aspects of their job and have to know the hazards that they're going to come in contact with. So I want to talk a little bit about the accident theory here. So Heinrich had the idea that he was going to measure incidents in his industrial workplace. So as you can see this pyramid, you might have seen it before if you've worked in the construction industry or if you've been in any of our classes. So I'm going to discredit this just a little bit. If we look at this, yes, it's all fine and good. 1 major injury, you might have 29 minor injuries and 300 no injury accidents or near misses. So this is just saying that for every 1 major injury, there's going to be potentially 300 near misses that occur. I'm not willing to bet on that number. Out of the near misses that happen in a day, there's potential for incident, yes. But who's to say that this is 100% accurate for every industry? Where this was decided was within the industrial realm, so in a factory setting where they built a particular item. In the construction world, we deal with a lot different hazards more consistently. So if we really deep dive and think about it, one major injury could be 3 near misses only, or 10 near misses, or 1 near miss to every major injury. It really depends on what it is we're doing and how we're doing it. So no injury pyramid is going to 100% describe, but what it does tell us is that if we stop near misses, if we investigate them and have them reported in the first place, we will, in a roundabout way, start preventing major injuries from happening. So how do we get workers to report these occurrences? We have to promote the fact that a worker will not be punished for reporting a near miss. They won't be reported for, or pardon me, not reported. They won't be reprimanded for reporting these near misses. They won't be reprimanded for talking about it to their supervisor. They have to feel comfortable in a place of work. And the way people feel comfortable is with a good company culture. And culture, that's a whole webinar in of itself. I believe we've done one on it. But if you take a look at culture and how it relates to safety and productivity and efficiency, they're all major components. So to get workers to report these occurrences, we need to think about how we can make it better for them. Can we give them incentives? Can we give them better understanding, better training? So there's different ways you can go about getting these reported. So worker training's a main one that I've been talking about. So if we train workers on the hazards, if we train them on our inspection processes, if we train them on just our whole safety manual within the orientation, everything like that, you're setting them up for success. Not only that, but we have to train them in our near miss process. We have to describe to them what we're describing right now. What is the reason that we're going to be reporting near misses? It's not because we want to know that Jimmy almost crushed his foot with a heavy piece of equipment. It's we want to know, why did Jimmy do that? What were the conditions that led to this, and how can we improve? We want to really hammer that point home, that we aren't doing this for the negative effects on a worker, but we're doing it for the positive effects we gain when we understand the trends and the different things that go into it. So incentivize. Should we incentivize? There's a lot of back and forth in this world about incentives. So if you look at the picture, it's a carrot on a stick. I know everyone knows the meme of anyone putting the carrot on the stick and chasing it. So the rabbit's always going to keep chasing as long as he has that incentive to keep moving. In the perfect world, an incentive can work, but you have to be aware of the type of incentives you use. If we're going to give an incentive like a carrot on a stick, what happens when we take the carrot off the stick? Are they going to continue? If we're offering a prize for the most near misses, are people going to fraudulently create the near misses? Or if there's a bonus for having no incidents, no near misses, are we going to have people neglect to submit near misses? So we want to choose the right incentives. We want to choose ones that perhaps like some sort of gift card or something like that, if on a random draw for the people who have reported near misses. And you have to be careful. Large monetary sums can get people to be quite competitive and start with that thing. So you really have to think about just what kind of prize, what sort of things you're going to be incentivizing. And then we want to talk about data interpretation here too. So if we take all the near misses that we get in a year, we might have 5 to 20 and maybe more, maybe less, depends on your company size. But we want to take a look at the trends. Is it going up? Are we having more hand related near misses? How can we discern if it's a problem or not? So if we start a new job where Olfa knives are the new thing on site, we want to ensure that for every near miss, we can understand, okay, what was the new Olfa knife is a thing. Perhaps we need Olfa knife training. So you have to think deeply about what sorts of things can be brought in and what times, and keeping aware of that. And of course, communication with workers is incredibly important. Having the training is a really good form of communication. We want to talk about near misses that happened, near misses that have happened elsewhere. We want to benchmark against other companies if we don't have our own near misses, perhaps when we're starting a near miss program, anything like that. So a good place to start, we have a lot of toolbox talks on our website. They're free to access and have lots of information on near misses. And of course, all these little, in the picture, we got defensive driving, worker rights, mind on safety, back injuries, and workplace complacency. So we got all those things, much more. So that is the conclusion of this presentation. Like I said, if you have questions about legislation, if you have questions about near misses, feel free to reach out to the SCSA, ask for myself or any other advisor, get you connected and get you on the right path. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of Toolbox Tuesday, and look forward to seeing you next week.